In this video we're going to be comparing a $120,000 hotshot setup to a $10,000 hotshot setup. So we're here in a Duramax. It's an older one. I think it's 2003, 2004, something like that. It's got the first Duramax ever made, so I think that's like an LB7. Basically, I just wanted to talk about the pros and cons. So this is an older setup. The trailer's got rust on it. The truck also has rust on it. This is an older setup. The pros and cons, like, of a cheaper setup versus a more expensive one. A cheaper one, I can't say it's not as comfortable. This truck is very comfortable for what it is. This is a GMC. It's got some creature comforts, and I mean the seat is fine. It's not the most supportive thing, but it works. The windows are manual. The locks are manual, which I'm not a big fan of. But when you're looking at just getting the job done, when you're looking, especially starting out, and you don't want to get too invested in it, if you find something that was maintained, taken care of, and works, then you can make money with it. This thing here, the brakes aren't the strongest, the motor isn't the strongest, it doesn't have very many features. There's a lot of things in this that doesn't work. The fuel gauge, for example, does not work. The sound system sucks. It has an aftermarket head unit that, if I'm honest, also kind of sucks. But this is what you can get for $10,000, $12,000 Canadian. Now the trailer's worth maybe $4,000, the truck maybe $8,000. So there's proof that a $12,000 setup can haul a load, deliver it successfully. Nothing to it. It's not going to be flashy, but you know what? It's going to get the job done. These trucks, they are somewhat reliable. The first Duramax engine did work very good. Of course, they all got their problems, but this, when you're looking at just getting into it, especially shorter runs, this works great. I wouldn't drive this across the country because when you're too far from home, getting the truck back home for repairs can be weird. But if you're just looking to do local runs, this can definitely be a good contender. Some pros, it's cheap. You're not going to have to worry about truck payments. If business slows down, you're not going to be screwed trying to make the payments. It's cheaper. It's easier to find parts for these because of the age. There's a lot more in the scrapyard. If I got to get a part for a new F-Series truck, or if you got to get a part for a new GM truck, it's going to take a while for that to come in because it's going to come straight from the manufacturer. These, you can usually find some parts just sitting around somewhere. Also, with an older truck, you don't have to worry about diminished value. When we're using these hotshot trucks and for regular LTL trucking, these get a lot of kilometers putting on them. So when you're dealing with depreciation, now when I drive the new F450 off the lot, I'm going to get hit 20 grand right there and then. But these, when you buy it, you can usually sell them for almost what you paid for them, and sometimes even more. I'm sure there's a lot more pros than that. These are usually easier to work on. Something cheaper, something older will be easier to work on than the new things. If you're looking at something cheaper and older, you also may not have to deal with emissions. Now, I know on the Fords anyways, before 2008, they only had EGRs, and those were super easy to take off and hard to enforce. You won't have to worry about emissions, you won't have to worry about DEF, things like that, so that's a huge plus. So I'm sure there's a few more things that could go on the pros list for one of these trucks. This isn't that bad. I was surprised. I was surprised when I got in this thing, and I'm still surprised. This truck is working very well. It hauls the load fine, it can get up to speed fine. Now I am maxing out the motor if I try and merge quickly. So these trucks, thing is, if you beat on them, you use them, use their full throttle and stuff, you're going to wear it out quicker. You're going to blow it up quicker. You're going to have problems a lot sooner. But if you're willing to take your time and take it easy, the truck will perform great and should last a long time. Tuned well, it's drivable. I would have no trouble using this on a daily basis to make my money. Cons list to a truck like this is that it's going to cost more in maintenance. There's going to be more things going wrong. The truck has a lot of things that the newer trucks don't. It doesn't have any cameras on it, doesn't have any backup sensors, it doesn't have any aids to help you hook the trailer on. It doesn't have cooled seats, heated seats. It doesn't even have automatic headlights. I know you can get a lot of these features in certain trucks, but when you're looking at paying as little as possible for a setup, this is what you're going to get, unfortunately. This truck is also lacking power, so if I need to get out and pass someone, I'm going to have to max the motor out to do that, and even then, you're not getting there quickly. Now, power isn't necessarily a good thing, because the more power you put through a drivetrain, the more issues you stand to have. But when you have more power, you usually have a drivetrain that's equipped to handle that, and therefore when you don't use that much power, the truck can handle it better. Keeping a truck like this together can be a bit of a task. You're gonna have things shaking loose, shaking off. I hear a whistle back there. But I mean, over time, when things have to be replaced on a truck, things don't always go back as good as they were factory. Sometimes they can go better, but not often that's the case. But you have to keep in mind, when you're getting a $12,000 truck and trailer, you're just looking to get the job done for now. As a startup or a spare truck or something, it's not supposed to be fancy, it's supposed to be able to get the job done. This truck does that, and has no trouble at all with it. Alright, so I'm talking to Josh, who owns the truck, and he says that it's not the second motor, but the fourth that this is after going through. So everything, all the pros that I said earlier, ignore those. This is a piece of shit, don't do it.